What is going on, everyone? My name is Northy, and welcome back to another round review or preview for the Teamcoach season. We are up to round 17. It is crazy to think we are getting closer and closer to the end of the season. I am not looking forward to it, and we have no more footy, that is for sure, but I'm really keen to show off to you guys what we have got in store here today and how we've done yet again. So it's always exciting, and I hope that you guys have done well yourselves. But if you find yourself enjoying what you've seen here today, be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Everything is always very, very much appreciated, and super keen to see and show off just how well we've done as of last week. And some changes now that we no longer have bye rounds. That's always the positive sign. We're back to using every single player. So let's have a look at what our teams are looking like and how we've done. Alright, so once again we are on the main page, and you can see one of them's highlighted as per usual, it feels like. As of recent, we've been doing really well with the whole star power side of things, which is great. It's better late than never. However, I would love to get more top teams because you can see we didn't have anything there. So we'll have a look at top team to get ourselves started off, and this is what I've got going into next week. Obviously, it looked a little different last week. Max Gawn is one that has remained the same. I had Luke Jackson in at the forward. I did have Jordan Dawson in there as well. So this was what the 4-star is looking like now. I know there's one more change that I'm forgetting in the defender position. I, for some reason, always seem to forget who this was. There's always one. If I go sort by season average, maybe I'll remember it. It was probably Ed Richards or something like that. But nonetheless, this is what it's looking like this week. A top team has always been a struggle so far this year. I've missed out on some players I would have liked, but I do have the Nick Larkey on the way, so I'm excited for when that does eventually show up. But this is what I have got at the moment for top team, and it does include 2 Geelong players, but they are up against Richmond. So that's probably a reason as to why I'm so confident with this team. My thought, on the other hand, was Luke Jackson. He's the only other forward that seems to be contesting the forward position, if I want to choose that. But Luke Jackson is also up against a side with a pretty good ruckman at the moment in Brodie Grundy. His form has been fantastic. So I'm hopeful that Brian Myers will be able to make the most of a situation here that really should go out in his favour. Same goes with Bailey Smith. It's going to be him or Max Holmes, and maybe it's even both, but I'm going with Max Gawn again this week because honestly, it's just really hard to pick which ruckman to go with at the moment. There's matchups that are really tough to go against. So Tim English and Tristan Sherry. I don't know who to go with there. My thinking is maybe go with Jared Witts because they are up against Essendon, so they don't have much ruck power in there. Speaking of power, they also have struggled a bit this year, but they also are against Brisbane, who don't have too much ruck power in there either. So there's no winning, it feels like, this week. So I have gone with Melbourne. Gone. Sorry for the pun. It may not be easy as he is up against Riley O'Brien, but my thinking is that he's going to move around the ground a bit better than Riley will, so he'll get involved more in play. But, of course, Adelaide are very, very good all around the ground and a very good aerially, so I'm really worried about this one. But fingers crossed, man. It's always fingers crossed. If we look at top 4 last week, we have a check here, and rank 31 for the season looks alright, but 413 for the round. Not great. Not my best outcome here, but hopefully we can get ourselves a bit closer next week. We were almost 100 off. Lots of 4.55s, but not many 3.65s, as that is nowhere close. Unfortunate. Very unfortunate. We'll move to top 18, though, and you'll see the same players as before. But now that we have the choice of every single player, with the exception of, obviously, injuries, Errol Gordon is one that is going to make his first appearance for the team. Really excited for this one. He looks to be into the swing of things, and Sydney looks so much better with him out there. I really feel like this is the game he could have himself a 130+ performance. Connor Rozee seems to be a guaranteed 100 at the moment. Bailey Smith, obviously, his scenario and situation. Jordan Dawson, he's going to have himself a good one, I'd hope, against, I believe it was Melbourne, so fingers crossed. Nick Dacos is one that I'm a bit unsure of, because if he's tagged, it means we've got a problem, but I can definitely look to switch that out somewhere, depending on how we do. Luke Jackson, of course, for the forward line, he's been great. Hopefully he isn't shined out as much as he has been in the past when it comes to playing alongside Darcy, but he should be alright. He has been alright in the last couple of games with him. Rankin's in there because he should be able to make the most of that Melbourne side. Same goes with Phil Thorpe. Darcy is in there, but my thinking is it's either going to be him or Cameron. And honestly, that switch up could go for Phil Thorpe and Cozzy as well. Cameron feels like one who should get a switch in here. And I'm thinking I'm going to do that last minute. I am going to take out... Oh, this is a tough one. I'm going to take out Phil Thorpe. I'm going to take him out and I'm going to put in Cameron because I think, yeah, it could be a really, really big game for him. There we are. So Jeremy goes in. I feel like that was one I really could have missed out badly on, but I'm happy with this one. I think this is pretty good. Go to the back line now, and this one is always tough to do, but especially now with so many choices. So I can't do Whitfield. He is still out with concussion, I believe. If not, I'm kind of okay with not putting him in there at the moment, although he could prove me wrong. Nick Martin, he'll get a lot of time in that back line, I'd imagine. A lot of possessions with that Gold Coast inside 50 target domination. That usually is how it goes when Gold Coast plays, but hopefully Martin can get some touches. Sheasel is probably an iffy one. I'm not sure how to feel about it, but fingers crossed. He is playing, but he's coming off injury. Zorko, if he has a regular game, should get 100 plus. Same goes with Naz, Ed Richards, and Bailey Dale are my big, big hopes this one. Ed Richards should be able to get himself on the stat sheet, and so should Bailey Dale, but it's all about whether they're needed. And Richards can get himself rotated in there a couple of times. Bailey Dale's good off the rebound 50s. Again, it's just about whether North puts up enough fight for it to even happen. We'll see how it goes. I really hope it goes well. I have put them both in my fantasy forecast, or maybe just Dale. I have put one of them in the fantasy forecast at the least for a big game, so fingers crossed they'll win twice with that one. Either way, this is what the top 18 is looking like, and if we check the ladder here, we'll see the season. We're ranked 23, so just outside the top 20 here for top 18, but rank 55, so 35 spots off of a prize card here. It's not that far off, but I know it's more than possible. I've just had a lot of games this year that have been nowhere close, and it's really frustrating. I really, really wish I'd had myself a better year with top team. To have one win so far is just crazy to me. I can't believe it still. So hopefully we can get that number up a bit more before the season comes to an end. We'll move over to Star Powers now. So some similar faces here in Star Powers. You can see in the silver, we have Dawson back after Dacos's really good game. We have Connor Rosé in. He is remaining there after last week. I don't see a reason why not. Maxi Gorn, again, I've had my questions with him. It's been honestly between him, Sherry, and Luke Jackson, who I could obviously chuck in, but I'm going to go with Max. I am going to go with Max and hope he has himself a big one. Brian Mize had to take the mosquito spot considering the scenario he's in. And Will Ashcroft, he is a potential 100 points that I feel like I couldn't miss out on here. I think Saligo and Rankin had these two spots. So 2 Adelaide players here. I think 3 Adelaide players in total. I remember Nick Dacos was there. But 2 Adelaide players in these ones is... It wasn't a bad choice considering how good Adelaide's game was, but it's always risky, and so I feel a little better this week having a nice variety of teams in here, not just 2 of the same team twice over and hoping that they have really good games. So I think I'm spread out nicely. I think we can have ourselves a good one again. It's just the hope that it turns out our way, as it always is the case. But we'll have a look at round 16, and 492 is not that bad. Rank 39 in this game mode is pretty good. I'm not mad at that result at all. Of course, we're still 22 off of a prize card, so we're still really, really close, but I can't get too mad. I really can't. We check at the season rankings. I'm sitting nicely in 12th place, so I'm very, very close to rank 1. I see Jason there, who I just made a video with yesterday. You should check that out if you haven't already. Jason had himself a fantastic week, and he's had himself a fantastic season so far. He is sitting just 120 points behind number 1. Still just a little bit off, and I'm hopeful that we can turn that around next week, as we were just under 100 per person, which is hard to do. It's really hard to do nowadays. So look to Ultra. Ultra is where it gets exciting because this team looked a little different. Obviously, we had the Rankin and Saligo duo in here, but we still had Dawson. If we clear him and check him, he had 105 points, so definitely going to take double that. We had Rosie in here as well, double 120, fantastic. And we also had ourselves Luke Jackson, double 107. So just like that, well over 600, could even be at 650. I think definitely at 650, but really, really good. And then, of course, we looked at Rankin here. He had the 82, which was helpful. Really, really good for us, if I chuck my eyes back there. And we had Saligo, who was the worst performer, but the only other good one was Colby McKercher. And so I maybe need to get his silver in soon, but Saligo did the job enough. And you can see what I mean by that as we check the ladder. of last round. This is what we ended up going with, and we had ourselves rank 17, 810. So we nearly got done by the silver picks. Really, really nearly got done. So thank God for those fantastic games from our Team Star Powers players. We just got to hope that we keep this up and these silvers don't keep letting us down in the future, because we could have had ourselves a fantastic game. If I had done McKercher instead of Saligo, that's an extra 40 or 39 points exactly. And if we have a look at the ladder again, in terms of where that would have put us, that could have put us, looks to be, in the top 10 at least. Could have seen us at 6. That would have been a great result for us, but I'm not complaining. A prize card is a prize card, and we're going to take that every single day of the week. Fantastic stuff. Really, really happy indeed. So, of course, with that revelation, we are sticking with these three. If I had the Team Star Power for Max Gorn, which I believe I don't, which is unfortunate, I am going to take a Luke Jackson one, though. That is a fantastic second-hand or backup pick. I'm really not mad at that at all. I'm hopeful that this will do it again. I think there's more than the likelihood that it could happen again. They've been playing consistently good all season. There's matchups that could go their way. It's just obviously fingers crossed. If one of them has a poorer game than usual, then it can wreck us. But I'm not really that worried. I think they're all keen and ready to go for another big week. It's always bound to happen eventually. I'm just hopeful that I can keep my eye out and keep myself out of this, 3-person lineup and keep my head knuckled down to this. I want to take advantage of more matchups. So we're going with it again this week, but purely because I think the matchups still work in their favor. Maybe not as much the Lukey Jackson one, but anywhere else, I don't really have. So I'm going to stick with this. And I'm going to be happy with it. I am going to be happy with it. So there is where our prize card came from. Very, very good indeed. We'll also check the fantasy forecast, because this one's always good fun. And when I say good fun, I mean it hurts me every single time. I have entered in round 17 forecasts for the coming week, but you can see yet another rank 2 pick. That is always so hurtful. Really, really hurts every time. Perfected the disposals margin. I don't know if that's the first time I've done it, but it's one of very few. I haven't done it very often. Yeah, Tim Taranto back in 13, and I haven't done it since. So really, really missed opportunity there. That's very unfortunate. 7 points off in the margin. Unfortunately, that's what happens when you're tipping for Ruckman, is that the points can often completely be dictated by the the tap outs, should I say. 1 off tackles, 2 off marks. I'm not mad at the result, don't get me wrong. I wish we were 1. I wish we were number 1. Jordan Clark, we were 6. Nick Dacos, we were 8. And those are the only single-digit ones. Our worst was 64. Jordan Dawson. Not great. Clearly means a lot of people were putting in Dawson this week, but we were so close, man. Another 10 off here, with Laird being 7 off, then 2, and then on the money with the marks, and 1 off the tackles. So some really good picks here and there. Just didn't go our way for some of them. Honestly, my hope is that I can do well with the ones who have an under or an over game, hence why I've gone overs with Bailey Dale. I've gone unders with some as well, I think for some from Richmond. So fingers crossed is that the outcome is that these high pick players, these ones I've gone over with, have really good games, and the ones I've gone under with have really poor games, because that means chances of getting on the money with the margin goes up even higher. It's always just hoping though with this one. You can forecast as much as you want and research as much as you want, but it is all just about, being a bit lucky, hoping that it works out your way, and just entering. Giving yourself the chance to win is always where it ends up going well for you. But good news as well, I managed to get myself my North Melbourne parallel set as well, so fantastic to get my team. That was the Colby McKercher one that we got right. If I have a look on this, right here, Colby McKercher in round 14, so that has shown up, and I'm very happy, very, very happy. 5 on the margin. That was a good week. 2 5s and a 6. That is a fantastic week. So much better than this week, or round 16, should I say. Let's hope we can get some close margins again next week. We need to make sure that we can get as many of these as we can, because I would like to complete this set. It's going to be hard. I know I'm going to have to buy some sets off people, but I don't know. I'm just hopeful. I really am. North Melbourne, you're the second one I got. Hopefully the second of many, so fingers crossed for the rest of the round. Let's go to our tips, and my God, it has been a while since I've seen 9 different games to look through. I'm so excited God, this is the perfect week of footy, isn't it? Just all the games. I'm so excited for it. I'm annoyed I'm going to be working through most of them. But the good thing is, I'm going to be able to watch a few of them, some of the big ones. Fortunately, not the Thursday night one, as it is North's centenary game, and I wish I was going. I planned to, but I'm just going to be way too busy. Thursday is the worst day for me to have a game, because I just simply cannot go to them. And it's annoying that it's such a big one. I would have been there, I really would have, but I'm going to have to miss it. I wish I could tip North. It's a big game. I want to believe in the passion, but I'm going to go the Dogs because I think it's the smarter and the correct option. Just too many things to work on after last week, and the Dogs have so many different players that could destroy us. Sam Darcy will probably have a field day with us, so I'm really, really worried about that one, but I'm going to go with the Dogs and hope for the best that North can at least make it close, unlike last week, because last week was a tough one. Carlton versus Collingwood, this one is also pretty self-explanatory to me, but it's a big rivalry game. Carlton have been prone to beating teams out of nowhere. Geelong, the biggest example, but they're also prone to a collapse, as has been the last 2 weeks. So I am going to tip the Magpies, but I wouldn't be surprised if they make it close. West Coast versus GWS. I think on my podcast, we had a discussion as to whether this was a vibe win or not for West Coast, because GWS is just the perfect team to mess this up. West Coast have a lot to be happy with, especially their mid-season pickup. He was a great addition. He's already made himself at home within that team. And GWS, like I said, super inconsistent. You never know what you're going to get with that team. I'm going to say GWS. I think on the podcast, I've tipped West Coast, but this one could result in me getting some prizes, so I'm going to go with what feels like the right option on this one rather than the hopeful option. Essendon versus Gold Coast. Gold Coast need to win this one. It's at Marvel, so honestly, I could see Essendon doing it, but with the lack of experience, Gold Coast should run through these guys. They really should, but I just don't trust them. Geelong versus Richmond. Don't need to say too much. At GMHBA, it's just all the odds are stacked against Richmond for this one. It's not going to be pretty. Brisbane versus Port Adelaide. This one's at the Gabba, so you'd think that it should go Brisbane. I could see Port Adelaide making this a lot closer than it actually would be imagined with the way their season's gone, but they're sitting 10th right now. They have quietly been rising up the ranks as the season's gone on, so I don't know. I do not know for certain. I'll come back to that. St Kilda versus Hawthorn. Hawthorn's performance last week was fantastic. That felt like the Hawthorn that we expected so much throughout the season. St Kilda, they're looking to bring their younger guys in. To be fair, some of the younger guys are doing really, really well, but gotta go Hawthorn. They've just looked so dangerous when playing at their best, and I feel like they're in that right now. They're done with their slump. Sydney versus Freo. I am really confident in Sydney in this one, despite how poor they've been the whole season. Of course, the talk of Papley being back and Errol Goulden being back. Why I've got him in the midfield. I'm really keen on seeing how he plays. And Freo, they're really good though, and they're really good at the moment. It's going to be a fantastic game to watch, I reckon, this one. I'm just going Sydney because I believe the upset is on. Adelaide versus Melbourne. I wish this one would be close, but I just don't think it will be. Adelaide have had a really, really good habit of putting teams to bed that they should be and really taking them out. Adelaide should be doing that again in this one. But Brisbane versus Port. I'm going to go Brisbane, but I could easily see this being a Port Adelaide win, and I'm nervous for that one. That one definitely could go wrong. So 9 games to go through. We've gone through all 9 of them. Looking at the ladder, we had ourselves a perfect round last week. Unfortunately, a lot of people had a perfect round. So it is in terms of who does it first when it comes to Teamcoach. If you lock in your answers too late, then what happens is you end up, sure, getting a perfect round, but not getting in the top 10 because you didn't do it first compared to everyone else. So I am unfortunately not the recipient of a prize card this week, but hey, 7 out of 7 is 7 out of 7. I'm happy with that result, and I'm hopeful that I will continue to have good games and good rounds like this one forever. Fingers crossed. But that is the round 17 tips. Now we're going to have a look finally at our prize cards. Very, very excited because we get to pick up another one as per it seems at the moment. I missed out on Nick Martin now, it looks like. That's the other one that's gone. But looking here, can't do Nick Watson. He is gone. I've got Harley, Bobby, George, and Nas. So we missed out on Nick. I'm not terribly worried about that. But looking at the rest of them, Yeah, the one that I want is Errol. I feel like Errol, now is the perfect time to get him. I love him as a player. Yeah, perfect time. And there we go. He is on the way. I'm very excited to see him in person. There you have it. Yet another Team Coach review and preview done and dusted. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Show your support for the series. It's the longest running series outside of pack openings on the channel, so it'll be fantastic to see you guys keep the support up and keep discussing in the comments. How have you been going? Who are you going with this week? Join my Discord if you haven't already as well, because that one is really, really good to discuss Team Coach. We talk it all the time in there, so it'll be great to have more people doing so in there. It would be fantastic to see you. So check the description if you want to join, and I'm hopeful that I will see you again in another video very, very soon. Goodbye.